Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and absolutely dismantle a myth that honestly has probably caused you more frustration than anything else in your personal growth journey. We're going to explore exactly why relying on motivation mathematically guarantees failure. Look, if you've ever felt completely stuck because you just can't seem to, try harder, then this is absolutely for you. So let's start with a really painful yet incredibly relatable problem. Why do we always fall off track? You set a high goal. You start out with this bright-eyed excitement, you've bought the fancy new running shoes, you've downloaded the premium budgeting app, you are just fired up. And then, what happens? 2 or 3 weeks later, you inevitably fall right off the wagon. Why does this always seem to happen to us? Well, when we fall off track, we almost immediately start telling ourselves a really damaging story. We tell ourselves that we're just lazy. But the psychological reality, it's almost never laziness. It is fear. It's overwhelm. It's life simply being way too much to handle all at once. And most importantly, it's a total lack of structural support in how we approach our daily routines. It's not laziness, guys. It's just being human. The problem is, society constantly feeds us these incredibly flawed directives. Think about it. Just do it. Get motivated. You just have to want it more. These slogans kind of trick us into believing that waiting around for a fleeting burst of inspiration or just white-knuckling our way through life with pure self-control is the secret to success. But actually, that's a direct recipe for burnout.
To put that into perspective, consider this number, 35,000. That is the staggering, estimated number of daily decisions an average adult makes every single day. 35,000. From what shirt to wear, to how to word an email, to what to eat for lunch. Every single one of these choices physically depletes our finite reserve of self-control.
There's actually a clinical term for this, decision fatigue. Because of this massive cognitive exhaustion, relying on your feelings or your raw willpower to push through stress or a bad mood or a 12-hour workday, it's a losing game. It's been scientifically proven that your attentional control literally cannot be sustained indefinitely. Your willpower battery just drains with every single choice you make. Seriously, think about the absurdity of relying on willpower alone. It's kind of like a dog in training trying to ignore a room full of cats and open jars of peanut butter. It might work once, maybe twice, but self-control completely fails us during repetitive, daily challenges, like managing your spending, getting to sleep on time, or eating healthy.
Which brings us to our next big concept, systems over goals.
To build true architecture for success, we have to abandon the traditional obsession with goals. Listen to this brilliant insight from James Clear. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So, if you are having trouble changing your habits, the problem isn't you. Let me repeat that. The problem is not you. Bad habits repeat themselves not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change.
Let's compare motivation versus discipline. Waiting for motivation creates massive inconsistency, right? Because it's tied to how you feel in the moment, and feelings change like the weather. Discipline, on the other hand, means showing up and taking action even when it's totally unglamorous. High-performing entrepreneurs, creators, athletes, investors, they don't wait to feel inspired. They have a reliable, structured routine that pulls them into the work regardless of their mood.
And hey, think about it. You never need discipline to binge reality TV or endlessly scroll through social media, right? That's because a quick hit of dopamine naturally reinforces those instant pleasures. Discipline is reserved specifically for the things you know are good for you, but that lack that immediate, exciting payoff.
All right, let's move into our next section, building lasting discipline. True change comes from deciding exactly who you want to be, and then proving it to yourself with small, manageable wins rather than trying to make these massive, radical shifts. Look at it this way. Every single time you choose to read a page of a book instead of picking up your phone, you're casting a vote for the identity of a reader. Your identity literally emerges out of your daily habits.
And the math behind these small little votes is absolutely astounding. 37. If you focus on getting just 1% better each day, the improvements compound. By the end of 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better than when you started. You don't need a total life overhaul overnight. You just need a tiny 1% shift today.
So how do we get that 1%? You utilize a simple neurological loop, often called the 4 laws of behavior change. Make the cue obvious, make the action attractive, make it incredibly easy to execute, like remove all the friction, and make the reward satisfying. Basically, you want to let your environment do all the heavy lifting for you.
Let's look at some practical ways to actually build this consistency. Effective self-regulators minimize their reliance on willpower completely. Don't try to resist distraction, just eliminate it from your workspace beforehand. Bypass procrastination by committing to just 2 minutes of a task. And honestly, sometimes you just have to embrace the JFDI mentality, just do it, and rely on your pre-built system to carry you through the finish line.
This dynamic brilliantly separates the amateurs from the professionals. As Jim Rohn famously said, motivation is what gets you started, habit is what keeps you going. Successful people keep the engine running through automated habits. Their systems are totally independent of how tired they feel on a random Tuesday morning. The habit carries the load when the motivation completely dries up.
Now, a quick aside here. You are human. Showing up imperfectly is still showing up. We have got to stop responding to our small slip-ups with intense shame and self-criticism because, ironically, that derails us far more than the actual slip-up itself. Taking a holistic approach, managing your stress, and giving yourself some grace is the only real way to build lasting consistency. Remember, perfection is the absolute enemy of discipline.
So here is what you should take away from all of this. Stop waiting for the magic spark of motivation to save you. It's way too unpredictable, and honestly, you're just leaving your success up to chance. Instead, I want you to ask yourself, what is one small system you can build today to guarantee a win tomorrow? Because at the end of the day, motivation gets you started, discipline gets you results.